Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's Valsa, and we're back with another Warpet Academy. Today we'll be talking about the Counterstrike package. I feel like I owed you this one for a while now. And like I mentioned previously, there's a generic pet package for each of your troop types. So for example, follow-up, that's for your mages. Chain strike, that's for your archers. Fierce attack, that's for your cav mostly. The Counterstrike package, this is the package for your infantry marches, alright? Now, the Counterstrike package consists of Counterstrike, obviously, the Amber skill, Advanced Counterstrike, and the Pet Shop skill, Intense Counterstrike. And let's talk through each one of them. Alright, Counterstrike, you see here, what does it do? It gives you a 50% chance, whenever your legion gets hit with a normal attack, to do damage back to its attacker. Now, this is another one of those skills where the tooltip is misleading, or at least doesn't give you the full story. I think Counterstrike is pretty similar in how it functions to Chain Strike. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's go over how counterattacks work, right? Whenever your legion gets hit with a normal attack, all your legions are going to make a counterattack back on whatever legion hit it. Now, the one important thing to note here is if you have a melee legion and you get hit at range, your counterattack is only going to do 50% of the damage back to whoever hits you. Okay, so that occurs all the time, regardless of what pet you have, what you have on your pet. Your legion's always going to make a counterattack back to whoever hit it. What Counterstrike does is it gives you a 50% chance to essentially make a second counterattack every turn to anyone who hits you with a normal attack. Okay, much like Chain Strike, the Counterstrike counterattack counts as a legion attack, not a pet attack. That means things like Fatal Bite, Blood Roar, etc. do not affect the damage that the Counterstrike counterattack does, alright? The damage that the Counterstrike counterattack does is determined by the star level of Counterstrike and the endurance on your pet. Much like Chain Strike, you always have a 50% chance to make this Counterstrike counterattack regardless of the star level of Counterstrike. Even a 0-star Counterstrike will give you that 50% chance. As you star up Counterstrike, the only thing that changes is the amount of damage this Counterstrike counterattack does. That effect, where Counterstrike gives you a 50% chance to make an additional counterattack, makes it an excellent choice for virtually every infantry pet. There are a couple exceptions we'll talk through later, but this is your default. You want Counterstrike on almost all your infantry pets, because even if Counterstrike's not doing a lot of damage, the counterattack can proc a lot of additional benefits for your infantry legion, which makes it an excellent pick. The last thing to note about Counterstrike is that there's no limit to the number of times this can go off in a turn. Alright, so let's talk about Advanced Counterstrike, and this is the Amber Shop skill for the Counterstrike package. You can see I already bought one of the Advanced Counterstrikes this season, alright? So what does Advanced Counterstrike do? It gives you a 100% chance, so it works every time, whenever your legion does the Counterstrike counterattack. Alright, let's remember what's the chances for my Counterstrike counterattack. It's 50% chance every time I get hit with a normal attack. So 50% of the time, Advanced Counterstrike works 100% of the time. And so what it does is it has the pet make the Advanced Counterstrike attack against whatever legion hits you. Alright, so let's walk this through. You have an infantry legion out there. It gets hit. It's automatically going to make its counterattack naturally. You have the pet with the Counterstrike package on it. It's got a 50% chance to make an additional Counterstrike counterattack that counts as a legion attack. And if it does that, it has a 100% chance to make the Advanced Counterstrike counterattack. Alright, so at best, you're going to proc 3 counterattacks, if you will, against the target. The first one's your natural counterattack, the second one's the Counterstrike counterattack, and the third one is the Advanced Counterstrike attack from the pet. The important thing here is the Advanced Counterstrike is not a legion attack. This is a pet attack, which means your Advanced Counterstrike does benefit from things like Fatal Bite, Blood Roar, and so on. The last part of the Counterstrike package is Intense Counterstrike. Intense Counterstrike's a little different. What does it do? Whenever you cast Counterstrike, so a 50% chance every time you get hit with a normal attack, it gives you a stack of Tough Pet. So what does Tough Pet do? It gives your legion a buff, which decreases the amount of damage your legion takes from enemy Warpet attacks, okay? Now you see the base here, it's 1%. The amount of the reduction is influenced by both the star level of Intense Counterstrike as well as the endurance on your pet. If you're wondering, if you fully max this out, so a 3-star Intense Counterstrike on a pet with max endurance, you're looking about a 6% reduction per stack, so you can get about an overall 30% reduction, assuming you max everything out. Okay, should you put the Counterstrike package on your pets? Well, there's really 4 cases here, and I want to talk through each of the 4 cases individually. All right, first of all, if it's an archer pet, if it's a mage pet, if it's a cav pet, I don't think it's worth it. You know, some people would run like a Haskanara counterattack build with archers. All right, maybe think about it there, but this is really your infantry-focused additional package you want to put on there. Okay, and so for your infantry pets, the first thing I want to talk about is a pet damage build. For example, this poison lizard you see here, it's got the pet damage build on it. You do want the Counterstrike package, specifically Counterstrike and Advanced Counterstrike, on a pet damage build pet, okay? Counterstrike is just good anyway, and if your plan, for example, in a Skogul March, is to get hit with a lot of attacks, you want Counterstrike. You know, even a 0-star Counterstrike's really good, but a higher level Counterstrike's obviously going to do more damage, so that's better, right? On a pet damage build, you 100% want Advanced Counterstrike because that gives you the additional pet damage. So right now, for example, in this poison lizard, infection's obviously going to hit whoever it hits, and infection's going to benefit from fatal bite, from blood roar, etc. The Advanced Counterstrike is also going to benefit from those, you know, fatal bite, blood roar skills. And so I'm essentially, by putting Advanced Counterstrike on there, I'm double dipping on the pet damage build. Excellent on the pet damage build. You want Counterstrike, you want Advanced Counterstrike. Okay, what about Intense Counterstrike? I kind of think it's off plan here. I don't recommend it. It makes your march tankier, but all your other skills are geared towards doing a lot of damage to a lot of units. Intense Counterstrike will make you survive longer, but doesn't do any damage to anyone. So I don't recommend it on your generic pet damage build pet. All right, so that's the pet damage build. Let's talk about the hero enhancement build. I have this very underdeveloped Venom Lizard here, and this is sort of, you know, trending towards a hero enhancement build, specifically for something like a Skogul. You can see I haven't put a lot into this, but it serves as a good example for a hero enhancement build. Do you want the Counterstrike package on a hero enhancement build? I think the answer is you only want Counterstrike on there, right? Counterstrike itself will give you additional counterattacks. They're not going to do a ton of damage, but they will proc a lot of synergies. That's great. So put a Counterstrike on there, even if it's only a 0-star Counterstrike. As for Advanced Counterstrike, don't put it on this pet. It's not worth the amber. It's getting no benefit from things like, you know, Tooth and Claw, Fatal Bite, etc. So Advanced Counterstrike, it's not worth it on the hero enhancement build. And then Intense Counterstrike's kind of off plan too. So this one, you can kind of see I have it built towards skill damage here, as well as a little counterattack damage. This is sort of the, like I said, the Skogul counterattack package. And like, honestly, I haven't put a lot into this. I don't use this pet. But had I built it out, I would have not put Intense Counterstrike on it. Now, the third case is the Rally Garrison meta. Do you want the Counterstrike package on the Rally Garrison meta? It depends. If you have a Poison Lizard, if you have a Bruin Bear, yeah, you do want the Counterstrike package on that. What about a Moon Bear? I think you can choose either direction on the Moon Bear. The Counterstrike package will make you better in the open field, will make you more resistant to swarming. On the other hand, the Fierce Attack package on the Moon Bear is going to make you better in the one-on-one fight. And you can see in this pet, I've built it out for the Fierce Attack package because that's what I valued more. I'm more concerned about the one-on-one with Grimace here. The fourth case, the final case, and actually I think the most interesting case, is the Moss Rock if it's a Rally Garrison pet for you. Okay, so let's talk through this. The thing about the Moss Rock is it's got terrible luck. Okay, I have an S tier luck here and it's only 148. That's pretty awful. And so a lot of these simulations, a lot of these testings are tending to show stay away from your luck-based skills. Okay, that's Blood Roar. It sucks to cut Blood Roar, but let's try that. The other thing to think about is what about the Fierce Attack package on the Moss Rock? The Fierce Attack package relies on, no kidding, Fierce Attack, okay, an Intense Fierce Attack, another luck-based skill. And so I think the Mossrock is trending away from Fierce Attack more towards the Counterstrike package. Now, the thing about the Counterstrike package is Counterstrike, that's a no-brainer. Advanced Counterstrike, that's a no-brainer. But what about Intense Counterstrike? I think this might be the one case where you actually want to consider putting Intense Counterstrike on your pet. And the reason is, in that one-on-one fight, you have such good endurance on the Mossrock that, let's say you're fighting a Moonbear against another cracked out pet, the Intense Counterstrike, it's reducing the damage by like 25 or 30% from the Moonbear, may actually be your best course of action. I think it's a very limited use case. I would not typically put Intense Counterstrike on the Mossrock unless it's intended to be the rally garrison pet for me, because then in that fight against another cracked out pet, it's going to do a lot of good. So, summing up, Counterstrike basically on any infantry pet other than maybe a Moonbear that's used for rally garrison. Advanced Counterstrike basically on any sort of pet damage build to include those rally garrison pets other than the Moonbear if you go Fierce Attack. Intense Counterstrike, mostly stay away, but maybe an interesting choice on the Mossrock if it is your rally garrison pet. And that is the Counterstrike package. It is to infantry what Chain Strike is to archers, what follow-up is to mages, and what Fierce Attack is to cav. And that's all I got for you today, and until next time, you stay classy, Belleron.